as I've been working through the repairs on the top section of this front panel and this lower section down here, I've been debating what am I going to do with the underside of this box section. And I think a few years ago I'd have probably started doing like little small repairs on all this, and it would have taken forever. I think with a bit of experience I just decided I'll just cut out a big chunk of it and make one big piece to go in. So, because there's like a hole here, here, this is worn here, and going around the edges of these just be ridiculous. So I'll make a piece for all of that, and it'll be good because there's it was spot welded on here. So if I just take out those spot welds as well, I won't end up with like a continuous loop of weld. It'll just be the spots along here, and it reduces that continuously welded section by about half. So I'll crack on with that. I suppose I'm a little bit inspired by how well this box section worked on the top side. If I get this as well as that, we'll have made huge progress and have a good panel.
It was back to that ever-decreasing bonnet panel for another long section to cut out, using that piece of angle iron for a straight edge. I marked out the length that I needed based on the damage to the original panel. Then I made my fold. This is to give the lip that the spot welds will go into. Then I worked out how much of that original lip I'd have to cut out, because I wanted to sit the piece in first, right exactly where it's going to be, before I drew out the cuts in the old panel. So that's why I didn't cut out the whole piece at the start. I just cut down close to the lip first. I flipped it over because you could see the little indents for the spot welds much easier on the other side. I drilled a little pilot hole, and then a 6mm drill bit was enough to take them out. Flipped it back over, and then a lot of prying and bending and twisting. I just used a chisel here just to break the last little bit that I couldn't get the grinder into because of the shape of the original piece coming around. I'm always a bit conservative with the size of drill bit that I use, because I don't want to make too big a hole. So there's always a tiny little bit of the original spot weld that grips, but I was able to split them off with the screwdriver. So with all that picked out, I was able to slot the repair panel into place and accurately draw the line for the cut up out of that section. Needed to bend a little bit of that front for access to the grinder. Again, more tweaking in the difficult corners. Bend that up, then I can get in with the grinder and cut across. Otherwise, just can't get in there. Marked up the other end and worked out how far I wanted to come towards the edge. I'm leaving in a little bit where it's actually going to come right around the edge to take in one rust hole on the top plane as you view it from here. You can see it sticking up there at the end. So I've got my cut line accurately marked out, and deep breath, and a big section coming out now. There's no turning back. I cleaned up the newly exposed area from between the two pieces, using a wire wheel on the drill this time for better access. Bit of weld through primer on the surfaces, and now just cleaning back the area where I'm going to be doing the weld, just to stop the paint burning off, and slap that into place. I've actually done my fold now already of the little bit that came around. So I held it in place with a magnet and just started a few little tacks to hold it in, and then work my way around joining them all up. I bent back that fold that I'd moved to get a bit of access. Let's tidy that up, and cleaned off all the holes for my plug welding. Cleaned them out, and you can see I used plenty of clamps to find the correct shape. Just dousing the flames there with my hand. So I cleaned down all those welds with the flat wheel and had to think about what I'm going to do next.
That's worked out really nicely. Now, I've been thinking about the other side, and I have been thinking of a repair here and a repair there. It has got quite a bad scar from rust here in the middle, and I'm thinking, if I'm going to cut this out as far as here, I'll be doing that regardless of what I do. But if I go back to here, I might as well have just continued a cut as far as there. And if I'm doing the same here, I'll have gotten as far as here for the same cut. So I actually think I'm just going to do the exact same thing as I did on this side. It'll all be done right, and this time I'll spare you the detail. That worked out well too. Now's my opportunity to undo all my good work.
I used the cut out rusty sections to mark up where the original drain holes were in the box section, because I'm going to have a go at drilling them out. Made a couple of little pilot holes. And then got a hole saw and started drilling them out. This is scary work, because one slip could destroy all my efforts of the past couple of weeks. I wasn't able to get in exactly vertical because of the length of the drill, so it was a bit hazardous cutting this, and the drill was trying to wander off position. I fished out the little cutouts so they don't start rust inside the panel. But it worked out okay, and I joined up the two circles to make them into an oval using a cutting disc. I didn't go right to the limit of the line. I left a little bit so that I could grind it back a bit more safely, because again, one slip of cutting and the panel is ruined. and then just finished off the edges with this spherical grinding wheel, which looks a bit like a lollipop.
That got a bit hairy with the cheap hole saw that I was using. It's just a supermarket one because it's not a tool I use up very often. But it still worked out pretty much like the original, and yeah, I'm happy with the panel. It's actually gotten heavier now as we've added in so much metal.